Welcome back to Unconventional Asians, where we dare you to be authentic. But as the host, I have to walk my talk.
I want the audience to see the whole process, the authenticness of it, the messiness of it. If all I could give was the inspiration that it's okay for us to be imperfect, my job is done.
Let me tell you my story just to give you some context. I grew up very confused as a teenager, torn between two completely opposite value systems between my divorced parents. I live in a home that had difficulty expressing any feelings or confront any conflict of any kind. I quickly learned to swallow any hardships that I had and got back up on my own 2 feet because I thought that nobody's gonna come to save me but me. This hard shell of my heart softened, however, when I met my Prince Charming and married him and thought I would have this fairy tale of a happily ever after. But just like a movie, life doesn't always go smoothly like that or as planned. My heart was once again shattered, broken, and I was left behind. This time thinking that I need to be perfect in every way in order to deserve love. To include not having any negative emotions, suppressing them, and shoving it down the rug. And I know that I'm not alone in this. I know a lot of Asian women suppress their feelings to accommodate other people, to think that that is the better way for harmony to exist in relationships. However, we're not that innocent.
People think, oh, you seem so chill and I'm like, you don't know what it's like behind.
If you come visit my dark side.
This has created unhealthy relationships within ourselves and with others. Especially during this lockdown, a lot of underlying issues are coming right to the surface. Being able to address them head on is so crucial at this time. And also not blaming ourselves for feeling a certain way is also very crucial.
Because now we're programmed to feel like feeling bad is bad.
Yes.
And it's like, no, I don't feel bad. I'm okay.
Yeah, and then we say, okay, breathe, breathe through it, or do external things to push it down further.
And then we stay, that's this loop that we stay stuck in. Whatever you like resist, it persists. Like all of my tactics to like push it wasn't working anymore. And that's what started to happen. And that was what was precipitating the intense depression was it started to come out through my skin. That created like more shame.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Like more reason to hide.
Your body actually knows that you no longer can take it, and physically it actually forcing you to go through that catharsis.
It was that kind of had me break through to have this like really deep understanding, like awakening to, oh, when I'm treating myself really bad inside and shaming myself and and not feeling like I deserve to express my truth or my anger, you know, and that it's inconvenient to someone, then that's
it will eventually come out and let it out healthily.
And today our guest Kwonyin has held space for me and gave me unconditional acceptance for all the feelings that I had. And I want to show you the entire unedited process so you can see how it works. If this resonates with you, then keep on watching. Our unconventional Asian today is Kwonyin, a 1.5 generation daughter of Korean immigrants now living in LA. She entered a dark period that she coined the dark night of the soul. Throughout her own journey, she discovered a process to accept herself fully and emerge as the goddess that she is, and now helping other Asian women dig deep into their shadows and tap into their divine feminine. Her message is let the quietest voice be heard in her 8 weeks program called Asian Femme Catharsis. So how should we process those emotions? Let's hear what Kwonyin has to say.
Like first there is the necessity to have a mental kind of reprogramming around the very basic fact that negative emotions aren't bad.
Right.
Your emotions are your friends.
Yeah.
Every part is information that is here to help you, not punish you and torture you.
First, we need to acknowledge, and then what do we do next?
There's a certain way that we relate to something uncomfortable happening in our life.
Right.
And a lot of times that relationship to that thing that we find really uncomfortable, which is our shadow self, the part of ourselves that we suppress, reject, deny, disown. Basically the things that were unacceptable, that from very early on in the formative years of our lives, because it was unacceptable to the ones who were our caregiver, we had to like basically say, oh, okay, I'm not that because you don't approve of that, and we like push it away. And those could be positive. It's just whatever like was authentic to you that just wasn't allowed, and then it becomes hidden even from your own like awareness over time. The stuckness that like starts to create more shame. First, having to have this like mental framework where it establishes safety to like dive into dark emotions, to know that it's not gonna like kill you, it's actually trying to save you. That's why it's so helpful to like work with somebody who can hold that space if we're so accustomed to self-hate. A lot of it is like the trauma that comes from being in relationship with people couldn't you know, be with us in our pain and be with us in our darkness. Extremely healing when you have someone holding that space of, it's really just unconditional presence. Let those feelings be there and not try to change it. And tell me what your recent trigger was. If you were to kind of see it in your mind's eye, like what does that feeling look like?
Okay, yeah.
Or sound like, or like any kind of information that you can get from just leaning into it.
If you're not perfect, then you don't deserve love. That's the biggest trigger for me. Because I'm divorced as well, right? And that's another layer. That's coming up.
If I'm not perfect, I don't
deserve love. Yeah.
Okay, so that's that deep belief.
Yeah.
Okay. And when was the first time you felt this was true, became true?
I think starting like maybe halfway through the marriage. Maybe it could be my own projections on him, or maybe the way he made me feel. But because I looked up to him as a person a lot, and I felt the need to always be better. And if I'm not better, then at the end he did leave, right? So it's kind of like, maybe that's the reason why I was left behind, like type of thing. Because I was having emotions, or you know, all the things that I didn't do right was because I wasn't perfect. So like, that came from there, I think.
Yep. Okay. So taking that like feeling and like thought form, we're just gonna like almost like imagine that you're like holding it in your hands. You know, and like and without trying to change it, or we're just kind of like saying, okay, I see you, how painful it was.
Right.
To feel like that is true. And like for that belief to be there, I mean, to think that however you are and what you're feeling is just like guaranteed that maybe one day you'll be abandoned. I mean, that is the definition of an unsafe relationship. Right. And that's so scary. That like there's something about you that just is so unlovable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the reason why I like learned to get really independent as well. because I felt like nothing is ever guaranteed. If I don't work on myself and become better and be self-sufficient, then one day if I get abandoned again, at least I got my own back, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why like the self-love thing is important, but at the same time I know there's still like things deep down that I need to work on. But hence, in a way, I want to do this channel too, because not only, of course, I'm helping other people, but it's like in a way self-healing in a selfish sense. But at the same time, I want the audience to see the whole process, the authenticness of it, the messiness of it, and it's okay that we go through it, right? If I don't, like, I'm not the best speaker, I've never done a YouTube channel interviewing other people, but if all I could give was the inspiration that it's okay for us to be imperfect, and my job is done. So thank you so much for allowing me to and hopefully help other people with the process, because I don't think it's just me.
No,
So,
no.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And that's why I'm so inspired by you, and I think so incredibly brave for you to, you know, let yourself be authentic, because this is, you know, like not letting ourselves do that. Like, you know, it's just
suffocating inside, right?
Yeah. So like this is the pathway. Thank you for allowing me to share this space with you, and you know that you let me in to this space.
Well, I think it's also synchronicity that we're here today too. So sorry people, my ugly face, but I'd rather show you the real thing. So,
no, this is what's real, and this is what matters, and this is, you know, this is what's beautiful, and what connects people to our like deepest like humanity, like what makes us human, you know? Like vulnerability is a gift.
It is. It's something that I learned. And hopefully we can inspire other people to start opening up. And I think because as an Asian culture, the perfection, always showing off what's good about us, but never showing us struggling at all. Hence, our standard is so freaking high, like that Asian report card. I think that's another reason and factor as well. Not to blame it on anything, but it just to identify it and say we can now detach ourselves from that.
That was just a small taste of what the whole podcast is about. From now on, we're going to pivot the style of our channel to give you just a snippet of what we talk about in our conversations that's usually 45 minutes to 1 hour long. Stay tuned for a podcast that's going to be live in 1 month, and we're going to share all those links with you once we have it set up in the description box below. Make sure you click to subscribe to the channel if you really like this type of raw and vulnerable material to inspire you to do the same as well. And like the video if you like this type of content, and comment below in what other topics you would like us to address.